Hey guys, today is Tuesday, May 7th, 8:03 p.m. My name is James, in case you didn't know. Let's take a look and see what happened today. Um, Garbage, basically. Garbage happened today. Um, I think I mentioned on Monday volatility we would most likely see, and that's pretty much what we're getting. This is not good though. We've driven through and closed below this trend line. The 50 days holding the market up for now. I don't think it's going to hold. Not that would get some kind of big turnover, but there's so much uncertainty right now with the China stuff. We will probably go to here, I would imagine. So having said that, though, it looks that way on the Nasdaq as well. We cut right through that line again. Dow. Oh yeah, I drew these today. Perhaps we would hold in this channel on the Dow. Not that the Dow can lead us very far, but. And then the Russell, which looked really good yesterday, as it rebounded all the way back up, got turned right over today, and it's bouncing off its 50-day line as well. So the 200 and the 100 are right there too. But okay, so having said that, we look like we're going to get weak. Having said that, in a market like this where it gets really weak and choppy and all of that, I'm in cash. Won't be buying anything. I'm not going to look to buy anything unless I see something turn. And so when the market's doing this, what I like to see in individual stocks is, are they holding up? Are they not breaking through trend lines? Or even if they are, is the price still holding up where we're not getting big red bars down continuously and just getting destroyed patterns? As long as it's a strong stock where the price just doesn't really want to move very far, that's the one I want to keep an eye on for when the market decides to turn back up. That's the thing that's going to go higher. So I will not be buying into anything right now unless the market suddenly just turns. Basically, it's all China right now. Something changes, somebody says something from the government or the trade negotiations or something that just changes everybody's sentiment. That'll change the market basically. So let's go through the list and we'll see what we see here. So Mongo looks really good still, down $3 but holding up really well. So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. As long as we're not seeing big red bars down and the price just isn't moving on Mongo, for example, that's a strong stock. CRM had a big red day, but we've got a trend line right there that is holding and it bounced off it. That's good. We want to see that pattern hold. Palo Alto, same thing. I did see a big red bar, but we do have a pattern in place. As long as it holds the lower line, it's going to be good, no matter what kind of volatility or however much the Dow's down that day. Match, its earnings were tonight. It's gapping up. It's gapping up to over top of that line. So normally I would say, that's a buying opportunity, and it might be because even though it's difficult, choppy market, this thing might get the volume and the momentum to keep going. You got to be really careful though. Today was a really good day to use the 10 a.m. rule. If you watched my trading plan video, I talked about the 10 a.m. rule. I'm sure other people are familiar with it, where you don't do anything until 10 o'clock basically. Even if something's breaking out, just don't touch it, wait till 10 o'clock. Today really kind of showed that. There was a bit of a reaction at 9:30 and in between 9:30 and 10, and then all of a sudden everything just tanked after that. So patience, I guess, is really the key. So match is gapped up. I don't know if you want to buy it. In another type of market, I would say absolutely buy it, but you got to wait to see what it does basically. OLLI, this guy was actually green for a good period of the day when everything else was red. It does have a little triangle there. Netflix got knocked out of the ascending triangle I had on there, but now we can kind of draw a channel, support and resistance right around there. Etsy, I've redrawn this. Its earnings were not tonight, even though I had the date there. They're actually tomorrow. So that's why there was no reaction, if you wondered. So I redrew this into a nice big symmetrical triangle. Again, with the market being so choppy and red, like today was red, but you don't know what's going to work. It's a lot of uncertainty. Cash, I'm staying in cash. That's where I'm going to be until I see something different. Here's Facebook. I've redrawn this a little. We've got more like a falling wedge bull flag kind of thing going on there. Needs more time, I think. A little bit longer would be good, although that's a pretty nice looking bull flag. Now, same kind of thing. Channel-like flag. Looks good. COUP is holding up pretty well. So you can see it bounced twice off this line now. The market keeps getting weak. You know, some of these things are just not going to hold, but then that's kind of what I want to see. What's breaking through trend lines and what's not. What's closing above them, even though they might dip down like this. Are we closing back above that trend line? Anyway, COUP still looks good there. So if you're in there and you survive these, you know, there's still a chance it could go higher if the market suddenly turns. Tesla had a down day, but it's still within this channel-like falling wedge. DOMO is another one that I've redrawn more back into a symmetrical trend. I think that works. It looks a lot better until one of those trend lines gets broken. Potentially to the downside with the way this market's going, so we'll have to see. ZS, I did the same thing, redrew this into a big symmetrical triangle. I think that works better based on the way these moved and how they connects down there. I don't really want to give buy points on these right now because especially something like this with an angled line that's going to change every single day. You can draw that on your own chart if you want and you can see how it moves. But again, market is not really in a position to be buying anything new. This guy just found Trade Web Markets TW. Look at how nice that looks. Nice big bull flag. Light, long time frame. I like that. May 9th before the market opens. So today's the 7th. So not tomorrow, but Thursday before the market opens. And if that gets a positive reaction, you could have something similar to Shopify, where the market earnings come out before the market opens. It all of a sudden gets momentum, blasts through the line, and then you have the whole trading day for it to react and go up. Just found this guy, Lockheed Martin, has pretty good earnings and sales, and nice little ascending triangle. This is right around 337. Let me see what I've got here. 337.32. And then I found this guy. It's kind of small compared to what I like to see, but still forming an ascending triangle. Post earnings, had good earnings and sales. Looks pretty good. So it's funny because there's a lot of patterns, a lot of things that look like they could get potentially bullish, but we have a horrible market right now. And I think a lot of stuff rides on that, the result of these trade talks. I'm going to look at this one again here because I just want to show everybody Shopify. Looks really good, starting to flag here. So if you're in from down here, or even if you held from down here, you know, that flag holding up really good. Looks like it's going to have more upside if the market can get going. This guy I had the other night, it was an ascending triangle. Now totally a bear flag. Even though it undercut there, it had pretty good volume even as it undercut. But yeah, bear flag. But again, if you were going to short that, I don't actually think this market is going to go down for very long. Again, it's kind of hanging in the balance of these trade talks. If all of a sudden China says, forget it, we're not going to make a deal, down we go. If they can get something together and the sentiment changes, the talk changes to more positive again, then all of a sudden we should start going up again. So I think that the negotiators for the US will do whatever they can to make a deal. I don't think they want the outcome if they don't make a deal and China walks away. I don't think anybody wants that. And it's pretty obvious what that would be, a total sell-off. So I think that there will be a deal, but that's why I think if you were going to short something like IBB, it's probably not going to last very long and there'll be a sudden turn up in the market. So HubSpot earnings came out and it is not good. It's falling, so that pattern is probably wrecked. Trade Desk, I'm just kind of holding on to keep an eye on it. Its earnings are May 9th before the market opens. It doesn't really have a pattern yet to tell us that it would break out and kind of break out of something. Holding up good though above the line still. But yeah, if the earnings are good, obviously it's probably going to fly up, but we just don't have a pattern to give you an entry on. And then Lulu, these are just ones I'm keeping an eye on. It broke out, kind of sagging a bit, but it is holding the line. So that line is still support. And that's about it. Again, really uneasy right now. I've gone to cash after I got stopped out of COUP, not buying anything until I know what's going on with those trade negotiations, and then we actually see some change in the direction of the market, or see some kind of a base form. Although we got lots of bases here, I want to see the index also kind of change sentiment, you know, positive. So that's it. Wait and see is what I would say. I'll see you next time.